everybody. Nice to see you. Welcome to week 7, and glad that you made it. I knew that you would. So this week you're going to be turning in your final project and a PowerPoint. Uh, it's really taking all the parts of the papers that you've done before and putting them all together, gluing them together, using those headers to separate everything so I know where everything's at, adding in appendices, and I've got on the screen here the actual assignment. So you guys know what A, B, C, D, E, and F, what sections those are. You've already done them. I've given you feedback, you've made the revisions, and now you're going to put them into your final paper. So in APA 7th edition, I don't believe you have to do a table of contents for a student paper, and I'm not going to require that. I think it's stressful, and I don't necessarily need it. I can find what I need to find in this. You do have to add some appendices, and I'm looking here to see if they give you a list of what those are. They give you a format here, and that may or may not be in APA 7th edition. You guys already are really well versed at that, so we don't worry about that. There is a student example here. I also posted a student example, I think, in the first week or so of the class. So I'm looking again. The appendices will include a conceptual model. So that's your conceptual model for change. So you don't want to just put a model that is the Stetler model or something like that. You have to incorporate your project in it. So it's an actual graphic of that model, but with your labels for your project to show it. The other thing is any handouts that you would have, any educational handouts, training, things like that, any data collection tools, any surveys, questionnaires that you're using, a budget, a timeline, lists of resources that are needed. So that's beyond budget, that's human resources and the new word infrastructure. If you want to put that in as well. All of these are actually required. So I say if you want to put that in, but they're all required. And any approval forms. So your approval forms for any type of study that you're doing, you would need to get a consent from the participants. So if you don't have one of those, you can easily get one off the internet and customize it for your use. For any study that you would do, you would need an IRB approval. Whether you have institutional review board there at your hospital or your clinic. If you don't, you would borrow from a facility, ask them if you could come to their institutional review board. And this is a group of people that are well versed in ethics as well as statistics and research and healthcare to tell you whether your study is first off ethical, whether it's safe, and then they approve it, or they don't usually say no. They usually ask you maybe for some revisions and come back. So you would need your IRB application form added in there as well. So I wish the best of luck to you guys. You know that I'm available by text and by phone. If you put it in the private forum this week, I know you're in a hurry. You're on a time schedule. So if you want to just text or call me, that's fine with me. I know that you're working to get these done. You shouldn't have to wait for me to look at the private forum. I usually check it about twice a day. So go ahead and just let me know when you need help so you can get through this. On your PowerPoint, I recommend less is more as far as the words on the slides. It gets too busy. I don't know if you've ever been in some type of presentation where you're trying to read everything on the slide and they switch the slide before you can even read it all, or you're too busy reading it that you can't listen or watch the speaker. So what you want there are bullet points with main ideas of what you're going to talk about, and then down in the speaker notes section is where you're going to put all of your detail. I would not rewrite stuff for the speaker notes. Cut and paste out of your document. Do not make this too hard on yourself. The presentation is there for you to practice, because for any type of project that you would do, you would want to introduce it to folks to get the funding for it, to get the support for it, to educate people about what you're doing, and then finally to present your results. So it's just good practice in doing that. I have graded everything with mostly a lot of detail. I looked into your papers pretty carefully, and so on this final one, If you've made the revisions, I'm not going to go in and micrograde it. I'm looking at formatting. I'm looking that you have all the parts of it, and that your PICO question is good now after we worked through it several times, and that there's no similarity index that's causing me heartburn. I know that you will come up with higher similarity indexes. And I take that back actually right now, because if I remember right, this last paper you don't submit to Lopes right. And I think that's the reason, because it goes back and it finds all your other papers, and you get high similarity indexes. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the last class, actually the format, the Dropbox, did not submit it to Lopes right, which was kind of a pain for me because I like to grade in Lopes right. So then week 8, next week, is downhill slide. You wait for me to grade your papers. Everything's going to be fine. If you weren't doing well, you would know that by now. You all know that you're doing well and fine. And so just sit back and relax next week. Do your DQs and get ready to graduate, guys. Okay, know that I'm here for you. Last stressful week, push to the end. My prayers are with you. If you want to call, we can pray together. We can celebrate when you get done. Call me and let me know, and we'll celebrate. So have a good day, and thanks for listening. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.